Hi guys, this is Phantom Vacuum Fan with a new vacuum. It's not a Phantom, it's actually a Hoover. It's the new model of the Windtunnel Air. It's the Hoover Windtunnel Air Cordless. Now Hoover claims that it will replace a full-size, or that it is a full-size vacuum, but cordless. It uses two 20-volt lithium-ion batteries, and it weighs less than 10 pounds. So I decided to try it out and see how it works. Let me put the camera down real quick and go get my other Windtunnel Air so that I can do a comparison. I meant to have it here already. Hang on. Okay. So the original Windtunnel Air was obviously corded, and it was a very, very good machine. I still love it, but I was tempted by the cordless, as well as it's even lighter weight. The Windtunnel Air is 12.4 pounds. The cordless, even with the battery pack, tops out at 9.9 pounds. But there's some significant changes to the other than the cordless. Some are good and some are bad, and then I'll show it running. I'll also show a little demonstration, or maybe I'll do a side video showing the power that the original Air has versus the cordless. So first of all, obviously the cordless is cordless. That's one big change, but I'll start with the positives. Again, lighter weight, 9.9 pounds, not like 12.4 is heavy, but, you know, it's heavier. The cordless has the swivel steering. I'll demonstrate that in a while, whereas the original Windtunnel Air does not. I thought the swivel steering would be a gimmick. It's actually very, very nice, and I love it. Now, for the differences, oh, and there's a LED headlight right here. I'll show you that when I run it. But that is something, there was no headlight on the original Windtunnel Air. Now for the drawbacks. On the original Windtunnel Air, let me open this up real quick. Let me remove the bin. I'll remove the pre-filter and then I'll show you. The original Windtunnel Air was multi-cyclonic. It had the big inner cyclone, and then, let's see, 7 smaller cyclones for a total of 8 cyclones. Let me pop that back together real quick. Okay. Now, for the cordless, it has the big inner cyclone, and let me twist this off real quick. Okay. It has the big inner cyclone, and that's it. So it's gone from multi-cyclonic to dual cyclonic. So that is not obviously ideal. Although, I'm wondering, hold on, let me open this real quick. Come on. There. Oddly enough, you can't see through the... That really is interesting. That the inner cyclone is basically closed. I mean, there's a little air gap on each side, but it's like, it's a cone, and there's just little, you can kind of see openings on each side. But anyway, so it's gone from multi-cyclonic 8 cyclones to dual cyclonic 2. So that's one drawback. The next drawback is on the original Windtunnel Air, there was this button here. You would pop it as it says HEPA Media. this comes out. That's the carbon dust and so on from the motor. But you had a HEPA filter here. And then it would pop back in there. And you would, oops, I put it on backwards. You would line it up and it snaps right in nice and tight. The Cordless only has a pre-motor filter, and there is no HEPA filter here or anywhere. So that's a major drop in filtration, as well as going from multi-cyclonic to dual cyclonic. The multi-cyclones filter better in the first place, so that less dirt gets to the filters. Well, now you have dual cyclonic, which doesn't filter quite as well, and you have less filtration, so it's probably giving off a lot more dust than the original wind tunnel air was. Now, for something that is not a drawback, it's just kind of cool and interesting, the way they designed the wind tunnel air cordless. In the original wind tunnel air, the suction motor was down here. Makes sense. I figured it would be in the same place behind this battery pack port, but it's not. I went to remove the bin and I noticed it was heavy, and then I noticed on the back of the unit there's some contacts, and I looked at the back of the collection bin, and there's contacts there as well that match up. The suction motor and suction fan is actually in the collection bin lid. There's the exhaust for it and so on. But yeah, so that's where the suction comes from. And then I try to put this back together with one hand. It's difficult, but then you've just got this pre-motor filter that's washable. And then it goes right on top of the cyclone assembly. So, again, I'm going to try to do this with one hand. Let me put the camera down real quick. Okay. So then, the motor is on the top of the bin. Interesting. Not saying it's a bad thing, it's just an interesting design. So, now, for one thing that I really hate about the wind tunnel air cordless, let me put this down real quick, and I'm going to do a quick comparison demonstration. So, on the original wind tunnel air, I'm not even going to use the extension hose. I'll just show you straight up. Let me move that. I'm going to grab the camera. So the vacuum's right there.
Captain.
And, excuse the text message, you had all this reach. And so it gets to about there on this mat. Nice long reach. And that handle's telescopic. Well, on the new cordless, let me set up the hose real quick. And there we go. The handle is not telescopic, so I have to hold it in place with my foot because it doesn't stay, because the hose is stretchier, or more rubbery, I guess, so it pulls back. The vacuum's right there, and that's the comparison. That's how much reach you have. So it's a major drawback. And if you pull it anymore, the vacuum, I don't know if you can see it, but it's rocking a bit. So you really can't, stretch it anymore. However, then with the original wind tunnel air, they gave you an extension hose. So then on top of all that, I'm not going to be able to stretch it out all the way because, yeah, I just don't feel like it right now. But you can see, I mean, you have another reach about like that. Yeah, so then you can get just about anywhere you need to. The cordless doesn't come with that, nor do they offer one as far as I know. And I tried taking the extension hose off the original Air and putting it on, and it would work, except that Hoover changed the design slightly. I'll show you what I mean. So, this is the clip for the original wind tunnel air hose. This is the new one. Now, it looks very similar, except... Let me put the camera down real quick and try to show you this. I'm sorry, I know this isn't one of my better videos, but it's hard for me. There's so much stuff going on that it's hard to show you. Okay, so this is as far as it'll go. That little hook needs to make it over the end of this little lip, and they designed it just short enough so that it doesn't work. Unlike on this one, you can see on this part how it fits. So you can't even add an extension hose from the original wind tunnel air. So that's a big drawback, because you have basically 4.5 feet of reach, and they give you a nice, or at least I shouldn't say they, I ordered mine through Amazon.com, and they gave me a really nice tool, I'll show you in a couple minutes, that fits the cordless extension hose, and it would be perfect for doing ceiling fans, except for one thing. Unless you pick up the vacuum and hold it a foot or two in the air, it doesn't reach the ceiling fan blades. So that's kind of stupid. I'll show it to you right now, actually. Hold on, where did I put it? I'm losing my mind. Well, I'll show it to you before the end of the video. But they also included this. It's a carbon fiber, similar, I guess, to a carbon fiber brush roll for bare floors. And you could just pop out the carpet one and put it in there. Let me go check real quick and try to find that tool. I think I know where it is. Okay, sorry about that, I got it. So this is the tool, and what it does is it has articulation points there and there, so you can, and that makes like a little U shape so that you can do ceiling fans, or if you have crown molding, you can straighten that up and leave that angled like to a like a 45-degree angle, and get your crown molding or whatever. I don't have any, but I can try to show, like, you see, you would get your crown molding like that. So that's really nice, but you can't use it unless you pick up the vacuum, so I'll show you that later. Now what I'm going to do is I want to make a point. I want to prove that I'm using a fully charged battery, so I'm going to put it on the charger, and after a few seconds it'll turn off, so you'll see. I want to make sure that everyone knows that, there we go, it's fully charged. I want everyone to know that I'm not like doing it with a dead battery or something just to say that this vacuum is a piece of garbage, because I really wanted to like it, and it's just not getting the job done. I'm going to do a little test, and I'm going to start with the original wind tunnel air, and I want to show you, I'm hoping that this will work to demonstrate my point. Let me see. Okay, let me plug in over here. This should work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to hold it over the hose of each one so that you can see how it reacts. I'm going to start with the cordless. So I turn it on. By the way, there's the headlight. You'll get a better look at it later, but there's the hose. And okay, yeah, kind of bent it a bit, but it doesn't take much effort to, you know, to pull it apart. So that's the cordless. Let me reconnect the hose real quick. Okay. Now let me show you what the wind tunnel air does, the original. Oops. My power strip isn't turned on. Give me 1 second. Okay, there. Let's try this again. Yes. So now, see how it, like, I'll do it again. And let's just, I'll do this real quick. I'll turn on the air again and show you one last time the comparison. So, I mean, you know, but compared to so I'm hoping you were able to tell from that test the difference in suction. If not, all I can tell you is that the wind tunnel air has at least twice, maybe even 3 times the suction power of the cordless. So, so that is not a... Yeah, that was a major disappointment. But let me unplug the wind tunnel air, the original, obviously, since I can't unplug a cordless vacuum. And let me wrap the cord, and then I will do a demonstration of the wind tunnel air cordless. Now, as a little heads up, I'll show you if I pick up anything, but I vacuumed yesterday and then we had the carpets professionally cleaned. Sears came out and cleaned them, so I don't expect to pick up too much. But there may be a little. But anyway, okay. So I will now demonstrate the wind tunnel air cordless in upright mode, and then I'll show you the hose thing at the end where I'll show you the reach, like I'll give you actual idea of how high it reaches or how low it reaches technically. So here goes. Now, in a second, I'll give you a good demonstration of the swivel steering, but just give me a minute to get this area, because I want to make sure I get it real well. Okay, so, like I said, I used to think the swivel steering was a gimmick. It's like, how lazy can you be that you can't be bothered to just take a couple steps and readjust your angle? But after using it, it is very nice. I'm just going to watch this. I'll go around the bookshelf with just the little flick of the wrist. I got you now. You see just a slight flick of the wrist, and the vacuum adjusts. So again, you know, I'm all the way over here, and the vacuum is angled, but the power head is right where it needs to be. So that is very nice. Also, there is a power indicator there that shows how much battery life you have. When all four are lit, you have 100%. When all three are lit, you have 100%. When two are lit, you have 75%. When one is lit, you have... Actually, you know what? I guess it works in like... Somebody said it was like 120, 75, 50, 25. But since there's only three, I guess it would be 100%, 66%, 33%, and then 0. Also, again, oops, let me pick that up real quick. Oh, by the way, when you put it in the upright mode, the brush roll shuts off. That is a nice feature, but the original Windtunnel Air had that as well. Nice low reach. I don't want to go too far because I don't know what's under there. But you can see I'm easily clearing the entertainment center. And again, I'll show you there as well. I'm able to get underneath it. And I picked up something. Let me see real quick what it was. Oh, just a piece of paper. That's why I don't like to go too far under furniture in the bedrooms, because you never know what's under there. But also, I do find the motor kind of annoying, the sound of it. I don't know if you can pick it up on cam, but it almost sounds like it's uneven, like it sounds like it's revving a bit. So, I don't know whether... Yeah, I don't like that, but... Now, before I turn it off, let me put it in tool mode, and I'll show you the maximum reach. Okay, so it's in tool mode. Again, this does not have a telescopic thing, unlike the original Windtunnel Air does right there. You can see it. Hose is fully stretched out, and I'm trying to let me bring it over closer to the wall. Okay, so say I'm trying to do like that vent up there. I have the hose legitimately. You can see it's legitimately fully stretched. That's where it ends. That's where the vent is. And it's not like I have high ceilings. I have standard height ceilings. I mean, if I put the hose down real quick, I'm 5'11", and I can nearly reach. It's hard to tell in the picture, but you see I can nearly reach the vent. So, it's not like I have super high ceilings, but yeah. And see, just trying to stretch it, the vacuum fell over. But anyway, so yeah, that is about the maximum reach, and the vent is all the way up there. So that really failed. And let me put that tool on real quick, and I'll show you it too. Even with that on it, you can't quite reach. Like, I am legitimately trying to stretch it, and I just can't reach any of the dust or anything that you could kind of, well, you can't really see it too well, but there's dust along the ceiling. There you go, you can focus in on it now. And I cannot reach to get to it. there are a lot of things left to be desired by the wind tunnel air cordless, and it really is unfortunate. Let me put the hose back together and so on. It really is unfortunate because I love the idea of it, as I'm sure most people would. I mean, it's nice to not have the cord, you know, in the way all the time. But if it doesn't do the job, then what's the point of having it, you know? You're not saving any time because you end up having to go back with, over it. And I did that yesterday just to test it. I went back over it with the wind tunnel air, the original, and picked up a small fistful of hair and so on. Let me real quickly just dump it and show you what I did pick up. I mean, there is actually a fair amount considering the carpet was just cleaned and vacuumed and so on yesterday. But so, yeah, that's what I picked up. But anyway, so that is the Hoover Windtunnel Air Cordless. Oh, by the way, just as as a note, it also comes with a 2-in-1 tool, just like the original Air did. You slide it and it turns into your crevice tool. You slide that back up and lock it into place, and it becomes your dusting brush. And it does store right on board. But so that is the Hoover Windtunnel Air Cordless that they say full power, full size, now cordless. It leaves a lot to be desired, and I hope that Hoover will continue to work with it and reinvent it and improve it, because if you have like an apartment, or if you have mostly hard floors with some carpets or something like that, or even if you don't really if you're not that picky about deep cleaning, which is important to be picky about, but if you just want the carpet to look nice and, surface clean and so on, this will do it for you. But if you want the true deep down clean, or if you have a house with wall-to-wall carpeting, the wind tunnel air cordless is not the machine for you, unless you really need something lightweight. I mean, this would be good for elderly people too, because it's lightweight and there's the swivel steering and there's no cord to trip over. But anyway, this is Phantom Vacuum Fan signing off. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.